Mr. Chair, and thank you, colleagues. Gentlemen, thank you for being here today. This will be one of the most significant votes that we take as members of Congress moving forward. So I believe it is imperative that we get this right. Not long ago, the United States discovered that we had a data breach at OPM. Simple. Data, personnel records had been tapped into. So that just is laying the groundwork of where I'm going next. Secretary Carter and Secretary Moniz, I am very concerned regarding the government's ability to detect, deter, and defeat cyber attacks on our government, particularly by China, Russia, and Iran. With respect to Iran in particular, according to Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, Iran has conducted cyber attacks on U.S. government officials involved in nuclear nonproliferation, hacking which compromised the Marine Corps intranet, Sands Las Vegas Casino, and attacks against U.S. banks. In relation to the Iran deal, these attacks, along with recent successful attacks against OPM, leads me to have less than full confidence in our own cyber capabilities, let alone the cyber capabilities of the IAEA. It is vital IAEA has a Loctite ability to protect its equipment and technology, vital to ensuring effective monitoring of Iranian facilities under this agreement against cyber attacks. Just simple yes or no, Secretary Carter. Are you concerned regarding Iran's ability to impact the effectiveness of IAEA monitoring equipment through cyber?
I'm sorry, I can't give you a yes or no answer to that. I'm very concerned about Iranian cyber activity, and you named 3 countries. I could go on with the ones. This is a big problem, and sadly, I share the lack of confidence you have in the adequacy of our defenses. In the Defense Department, you'd think, with all that we have paid attention to protecting our own networks, that we would be secure, but we're not. And we know that, and it's not just Iran, but it's others as well. And that's why we're trying to make investments in that area and pull up our socks in the cyber area. But I can't reassure you on the cyber front.
I am very concerned about this. Secretary Moniz, yes or no? Do you share a concern that this could be vulnerable?
Oh, absolutely share a concern. But the IAEA does have some robust technologies in terms of...
They're much more advanced than the United States.
I didn't say that, no. Look, cyber is tough. General Dempsey also mentioned cyber is something that keeps us up all the time, and we have to develop our capabilities.
Fantastic. I have no confidence that we would not be able to know if there were tampering involvement going on as we try and monitor these activities, or as the AEA tries to monitor these activities.
Well, the IAEA, Senator, is of course quite aware of this, and they do have measures.
And I hope that they improve those measures. I do believe that we are vulnerable, as we've seen with our own infrastructure. And General Dempsey, we've heard some other discussion today about the choices that the President has with this agreement. Now, 2 weeks ago, many of our news outlets, USA Today, others, had quoted President Obama as, the choice is the Iran nuclear deal or war. This seems to be a military decision, and I understand that you advise the President on these issues. Is that what you have told the President, is that we either take this deal or we go to war?
No, at no time did that come up in our conversation, nor did I make that comment.
Who is advising the President, then, that we must go to war if this deal is not signed?
I can't answer that. I can tell you that we have a range of options, and I always present them.
And I thank you for that, because I do think, and I think it's imperative that everybody on this panel understand that there are other options available out there, and a multitude of options. We're taught in the military about DIME, diplomatic options, information operations, military operations, and economic types of sanctions and opportunities that we might have. So for the President to outright reject everything but war is outrageous to me. And I do hope that you are able to better advise him that he needs to be careful with his language, because that seems to be the rhetoric we are hearing out there, is that we either go to war or we accept this deal, and I reject that premise.
As long as we agree that that military strikes on a sovereign nation is an act of war, but there are things between here and there.
Absolutely. I agree, General Dempsey. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.